In 1865, Henry Austin purchased a 470-acre tract in Cicero Township for a temperance settlement known as Austinville. Over the next 50 years, it evolved from a country village into a densely settled urban area. In 1899, it was voted out of Cicero Township and became part of Chicago. The central part of Austin, now the Austin Historic District, is bisected by Lake Street and the Green Line L tracks. The Historic District still reflects Henry Austin's vision of a suburban venue for gracious living, and has largely escaped the devastation and decay that blighted much of the rest of Austin since the 1960s. Lake Street is part of the district, but it doesn't look the part, reflecting the district's varying fortunes and development patterns over time. There's a row of 2.5-story older homes, a row of recently built homes with broad setbacks, several apartment buildings, and the Mars Hill Baptist Church. A block north of the church is Midway Park, an 86-foot wide, tree-lined street divided by a 12-foot parkway. We have entered the world of Frederick R. Schock, an architect who designed a number of the area's buildings. Pay attention to the portico at Schock's 5840 Midway Park. He playfully echoes the porte cochere at its next-door neighbor, 5830. The substantial Victorian that Schock designed at 5810 is anchored by a 3-story turret. This rambling home also has a side drive and a coach house. Schock himself lived at 5804 Midway Park. It's a Chicago landmark and perhaps his most interesting work. Note the signature turret, the side entrance portico, the steep and varied roof lines, and the multiple styles of expansive windows that punctuate the home's mass. Heading east, Midway Park ends at a landscape plaza flanked by 2 of the district's 5 churches. And just down the street on Waller is the faintly Gothic Cicero Township Firehouse, designed by Schock and built in 1898. A block north of Midway Park, on Race Street, is a sampler of the district's large concentration of impressively detailed wood Victorian homes. The similarity of basic building materials, roof types, decorative elements, and stylistic features emphasize the architectural continuity and coherence of the neighborhood. The spectacular Schlicht House, designed by Schock for his aunt, is a true wonder. Built in 1887, it's a Chicago landmark and a rare example of the shingle style of architecture in the Midwest. The Schlicht home has an enviable expansive yard and a shining jewel for a next-door neighbor. Along Race, you'll also see Austin's dream of suburban openness beginning to fade into urban density, and encounter a few buildings not in character with the district. Our tour of the northern half of the Austin Historic District ends at Ohio Street, its northern boundary. Many of the houses on Ohio date to the earliest years of Austin. In their architecture and ornamentation, they're consistent with the rest of the district, even though built on a much smaller scale.